let's go ahead and take a. I'm gonna educate you. I'm gonna try to do this real quick.
All right.
You know,
you gonna school me?
I'm gonna school you, Martin. You know, you think you know history and shit. Martin, like anything about shows in the 60s and 70s, man, ask me about it. You know, that was my time. And you kind of did that when we were watching this movie right here.
Last night we watched a Rick Dalton double feature.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was playing Wolfenstein right before coming over here.
With this movie right here, you know, you got this is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and this is where you have an actor who's kind of fading. You know, he wanted to be a leading man, never really got to that point of being a complete leading Hollywood man, and looks like he might not have that chance because he's probably gonna be becoming a has-been, and especially when they want him to do things that he sees beneath him, like Westerns.
It's spaghetti Westerns.
And if it's not just Westerns, it's spaghetti Westerns, yeah. And Martin, you were telling me, it's like, man, I spaghetti Westerns I know, but you asked me about some of those old TV Westerns back in the day that they were talking about in this movie. Now, I know all that stuff. I knew it. That's why now I'm the authority
I don't know if I said that.
You know, I'm paraphrasing, but that was the point.
Okay.
I started looking at some of the actors that they were portraying in the movie. You know, movie has a huge cast, and of course they touted those names out when they had the trailer out there. You know, of course you got Leo and Brad, but then and Margot Robbie, but then you get to people like Timothy Olyphant and Luke Perry, and I was just kind of reading up on some of the real life actors and figures in the film, because for one, you know, when we were talking about a couple of the main characters here, when you had Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio with their friendship in the movie, we said that's the best part of the film. And I started reading up on things, and we mentioned this in our review. We said that was based on two actual figures, Hal Leadham and Burt Reynolds, where, you know, one guy was a stuntman who actually had more success than the character in the movie. Brad Pitt, Cliff Booth is Brad Pitt's name. Rick Dalton is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. I don't know if Burt Reynolds is actually that character, but as far as the friendship goes, it was meant to kind of portray that. So I got to think, looking at some of the other people in the movie, interested to see what their backstories are. Yeah. And one of them is pretty amazing, man. Tragically amazing, actually.
Okay.
This guy, so you have two characters in the movie, and I've already mentioned a couple of them. I talked about Luke Perry. I want to see who he played in the film. But then the one I really want to know about, because he didn't have too much screen time in the film, was the actor that Timothy Olyphant played. I didn't even get the guy's name when I was watching the movie. I don't remember hearing it. And turns out that those are actually two, do you know those guys?
No.
It's two guys, Jame Stacy and the other guy, man. They were on a show called, it's a TV show called Lancer. Wayne Maunder. So James Stacy and Wayne Maunder. And the blonde guy right here, the gentleman with the top hat, that is Wayne Maunder, and that is who Luke Perry plays in the film. Now, him and this guy James Stacy in this show, they apparently I guess the thing that Leonardo DiCaprio was filming in the movie, was based off of a real TV show called Lancer.
Yeah, I never heard of that show, Lancer.
I didn't either. Man, did you used to, like, okay, because, you know, a lot of kids my age and your age, their daddies made them sit down and watch Westerns with them.
Well, there was the TV. It was not the TV in the living room as opposed to the TV in this other room. No, there was the TV.
There was one TV.
And the parents, usually the daddy, controlled what was going to be watched on it. And he was into Westerns. So if you want to watch TV, you were in the Western.
Sunday after church, I take off those clothes, those shit ass church clothes. I'd be ready to step outside. And it wasn't enough that I couldn't control the TV on Sundays. My daddy used to always say, "Boy, come here and watch this Western with me." And I was like, shit. I watched so many Westerns at that time and have never heard of this show. It used to be on CBS back in the day, aired on Tuesday nights. You know, the movie takes place in 1969. This was in 1968 that this debuted. I think it only lasted 2 seasons. So I don't think it lasted that long. Maybe, I don't know, I have to look that up. But it was about these two brothers, man. And these two brothers who kind of, they struggled to get along sometimes. So you know, you would get scenes where it was just be them just talking. Now, I want to say this before this starts here. When I was reading about this, they said that the show was full of action, and the show the show was full of action and adventure, and they said, you know, we wonder why, you know, the show's not, you know, resonating with people as much. We really want to put this show out there because it's so action packed.
Came a long way for nothing, brother. Then you won't mind if I sit down for a while? Go right ahead. Did you get those cattle back yet? No.
Action packed, Martin.
Why? Man, they got taking their time to look at those lines too.
Shit, how much y'all had to drink? Are y'all really drinking on the set? Martin, edge of your seat conversation, Martin. Watch as cowboys talk about their day.
Jeez. It's like they had to be fed their lines. Yeah. And those extras, like, y'all gonna be here for a while.
Man, if you notice those extras in the background, they were having more fun than these guys right here. Look,
take a couple of days.
Look at these dudes back here.
Well, what did the old man do? Let you off for good behavior? Well, he didn't send me.
That dude's tough. Look at him. He's drunk off his ass. Look at him. Yeah, I hear you, man. But yeah, I wonder why that show didn't last so long. But out of those two, Wayne Maunder has an interesting story, man. His story is pretty. It has some ups and downs in it. You know, he didn't go on to be like a huge leading man or anything, but at least he wasn't his co-star. The guy that's portrayed by Timothy Olyphant, who played Jame Stacy. Talk about going through some ups and downs, man. So this guy, there he is right there in the younger time. You know, he started out, as you can see, as a somewhat of a handsome leading man actor. You know, whether he got there fully or not, he had the looks to do it.
Yeah.
But he ended up being in this really terrible motorcycle wreck with his girlfriend. Oh. Yeah.
Did she die?
She died and he lived. Yeah, it was in 1973. He had a girlfriend named Claire Cox that went out for a motorcycle ride going up Benedict Canyon in Hollywood. Took one of those crazy turns on his bike. She died. He lived, but what happened was he became like a double amputee. He lost both his leg and his arm on one side right there. Yeah, and so it seemed like that was gonna be it for him, man. You know, what's Hollywood gonna want with a one leg, one arm dude who, you know, is all on one side too? But God persevered, man. 1977, I think he ended up getting an Emmy nomination because he was in this movie that was called A Little Inconvenience, just a little inconvenience, and with that he played a Vietnam vet. I think he was a war veteran, and he's a guy struggling to get his life back together and kind of, you know, do things that people told him he would never do again. And you'll recognize somebody else. I thought it was funny that they cast him with someone else who was giving him his big pep speech in this.
It's called an outrigger.
And what am I supposed to do with this outrigger?
You use it instead of a ski pole.
Really? For what?
Well, they had the $6 million man.
I know.
Coming.
Well, why can't I get a bionic
Yeah,
arm? and
yeah,
leg
exactly.
like you
That's
got?
what how come they can't build me like you? Because you ain't got $6 million, bitch. That's what.
I was supposed to ski with this.
Nice.
Shove up your ass.
Yeah,
Paul.
stick up your ass. I don't give a what you do with it, man. Shit, they told me they told me to come out and give you this shit. All right. What do you want me to say? I'm looking at the $6 man right now. But that Lee Majors,
Yeah.
I was like, man, come on. You gonna have this shit? Lee Majors was in a show called The $6 Million Man. They talked about like he wrecked his body. They said, we're going to build him back bigger, better, and stronger.
Right. A new eye, an arm, and 2 legs.
And meanwhile, this man's sitting up here. He can't even get a good suit.
Well, crippled crab can't get him a crutch. So, well, we got you a crutch.
Duct tape that shit to your shoulder and go like this. I don't give a what you do.
Hey, I gave it to you. Now I'm out of here.
Yeah. Shit drops. You're like, hey, wait.
No instructions.
He made a comeback.
Okay.
Yeah, he
That
was.
doesn't look like the same guy.
No, it doesn't, man. He was not getting the big roles that, of course, that he had before. I mean, he's got one leg and one arm.
Yeah.
You can only do so much. But he was. Some of you, if you're from our generation, you might are a little bit older. Maybe if you're younger, I don't know. You might remember. I know you do. You remember a movie called Effects?
Yeah, with Brian Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know it had a sequel?
Yeah, I did hear it had a sequel.
You're going the wrong way!
Shit, you didn't know Pennywise was flying this shit right there.
I remember not liking that. I only saw the first one. I saw it in the theater, and I remember not liking it.
Nah, it's not that.
I remember I fell asleep before the third act, and I woke up, and the credits were rolling. And they're playing that song, Illusion. Just an illusion.
In that movie, for all you, cinephiles and movie trivia people out there, I believe, now I'm not sure, I just found this out right before I got in here. I believe that he played a guy in the movie, since he had one arm, one leg. He played a guy named Cyborg in that film.
Oh, okay.
So his career was, he was
at least he
staying,
got some
man, he
work.
was staying busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Just because you don't see people in movies doesn't mean they aren't acting.
No, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, inspiration for people out there.
Yeah.
Just because
Stay off motorcycles.
Yeah. A lot of people looked at that and they did say, "Wow, this guy makes me feel like shit. I got all my limbs. If this guy can do it, then
Yeah.
I can do it." But you know what, Martin? What limbs he had left, couldn't keep them hands or that hand off children, man.
Oh, no.
I know the crowd was like, oh. Yeah, man. The guy he persevered,
Jesus,
Martin.
man.
The guy made it. Maybe he wasn't as big as he was, but he did it. But he's like, shit. Somebody said God should have took that other arm away too. The man. They over there like, oh no, shit.
You set us up.
Oh no, but y'all like, oh man, this is inspirational. Man, if he can make it, I can make it. Yeah, you can. Just don't touch them children. That man had one hand and used it for evil.
Life will find a way.
Shit, I don't know. Maybe he did some shit with his foot too. But yeah, he was. I'm looking at Los Angeles.
For real, bro.
I'm sorry, man. Okay. But this is from the Los Angeles Times. It's from 1996. At that time, he's way too old to be doing this shit. Yeah. Old one-armed pervert, man. One-armed pedophile.
I held my urges in as long as I could. Now I got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, that evil dead hand. No,
it's not me.
No, he didn't have another hand to stop it. 1996, man. Actor Stacy, they just said Stacy. Actor Stacy, Jame Stacy, sentenced in molestation. A veteran television actor in Ojai resident was sentenced Tuesday to 6 years in prison for molesting an 11-year-old neighborhood girl last March. When bailiffs wheeled the disabled actor out of the courtroom, his family sobbing in the gallery, the victim's mother proclaiming justice was served. It brought to a close the strange real-life legal drama of Jame Stacy. It is a tale that stretched from a quiet Ojai neighborhood in the cliffs of Hawaii to the Ventura County Jail. He is now on his way to state prison. Says here, this is from Jame Stacy, I do want to make a formal apology for what happened that horrible day at my house. I hope it did not affect her innocent mind. What the you think, man?
He wasn't thinking.
No, he wasn't thinking. Shit, I mean, I just was amazed by this because it caught me the same way. I was like, oh, wow. I'm so happy for man, that was crazy, man. And like I said, I tell you how it started. Chris Herman was just looking up some stuff because he was going to review the movie.
Yeah.
He just started reading things off, and I was like, man, I got to read about this guy. And the more I kept reading, I was like, oh my God, this guy talk about some ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about, going against all odds and succeeding and completely it up. And this, and it was another story where they say, and I don't know if he was charged anything for doing this, but they said that at another time he was outside of two girls' house, he was drunk and yelling, "Hey, come out! You know I'm here!" And the people were like, "Get this guy out of here."
Was this pre or post accident?
Post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, man, this is a one-legged man outside your bushes. Hey, bring your daughter out here. Yeah, it's tragic, man. I told you.
It is. I wonder if there were incidents before the accident, or if this is all after, or only later in life.
That is a great question. I don't know. I would love to look it up a little bit more.
It's scary, but it was this report that was done on I can't remember if it was This American Life or I think it was This American Life, about a guy who had a brain injury. Put his life back together. His wife put his life back together. Just going on, nice guy. Everybody knew him. He would have some issues because of that brain injury, like nightmares and stuff. But one day, feds come in, bust in his house, take his computer, yank him out, and wife's like, "What's going on? He hadn't done anything." And like, "Oh, he knows what he did." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been having a problem looking at child porn."
And it was because of his brain injury?
Yeah, it was because of his brain injury.
Wow, so you think that maybe that this accident could have triggered something? Yeah, that's
maybe.
Wow, that's.
I mean, they convicted. They sentenced him anyway because they were like, "Well, you knew you had this problem and you didn't say anything." But he was just. But before that, he never even thought about it.
Man, what are you? But that's a win. That's a lose-lose situation because if you told somebody,
exactly.
They'd be like, "Man, you had this shit all along. You don't try to blame it on your injury."
Right.
So yeah, but that's a very interesting point because I it's hard to tell. I mean, maybe he hit it for that long.
I mean, honestly, it was one of those things where after his injury, his sex drive was just amped up. Where even his wife was saying like, "Well, yeah, he wants to have sex all the time," which he didn't before.
Yeah,
but it just spilled over into him just being attracted to everything.
Last thing that made it very interesting for me on a personal level, he died in 2016. Died on September 9th, my birthday, which was his death day. So yeah, man,
he never got around to you.
Never. Thank God. Did you see that one hand come in? No.
Coming out of your birthday cake.
Yeah. Blow out your candles.
Blow out the candles for it.
See my feet disappear to the cake. He was 79 years old, man. Still riding that
with the cowboy hat.
Still riding with that cowboy hat on, man. Riding to the sunset. Yeah, 79, man. Talk about a story, man, where, like I said, you hit a peak, you fall, maybe don't hit as high a peak, but you persevere and then you fall again in the worst way. Yeah. By your own no pun intended, by your own hands. Yeah, so man,
that's rough.
He deserved that shit. Yeah. So I'm sure that there are other. This is where Quentin Tarantino and his movies are very interesting because I will say that at that point he knows so much about old movies and old Hollywood, and when he puts that in his films, they can to a certain level be an education.
Sure.
You know, you will go back and watch those old movies that he's talking about. You want to look up certain figures that you didn't know about that were obscure by the time he made his film. So yeah, man, I just got kind of sunk down that rabbit hole right there. And
it is one of the things I'm finding interesting that you keep finding is how many things in the movie are based on real people.
Yeah, man. I like I said, you just kind of get caught up. I didn't mean to. I just I heard. It wasn't like I did it on my own. I heard Chris Herman going in there and doing it. So I just said, I'll look up some of these people too. Because a lot of stuff you already know about, you've heard about, like the Charles Manson family and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I was more interested with Leo's character of Rick Dalton.
Yeah.
How there was that cycle of, okay, your TV show's off, but now you're at a point where you're playing villains on other popular shows, and you play villain after villain.
Yeah.
And how that kind of puts you in that category of like, yeah, man, people just don't revere you like you used to.
Yeah.
It means you're on your way out.
Yep. That was a great speech. You know, when you get down to Jame Stacy's story, his co-star, Wayne Maunder, that guy was, I mean, he did some incredible things, but it was like, well, shit, you're just kind of dull compared to this guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy was like he was a Major League Baseball player, a failed Major League Baseball player at one time.
Is that how he got into acting?
Yeah. Yeah, he was also in the Naval Reserve. Went to Broadway, studied that in 1961. That's where he started getting into roles on stage, and then in film or on TV. You know, people like, yeah, but he didn't molest nobody. So that's kind of wow, that's kind of dull. Well, try harder, Wayne.
That's so weird that we never heard of Lancer before.
I'm telling you, I watched westerns all day.
Right.
F Troop, the Rifleman. Bonanza.
But Bonanza, Ponderosa,
yeah.
Maverick, Have Gun Will Travel.
Yeah, man, I watched all that shit. I told you, my dad made me watch that shit, and then after a while, I got a love for westerns.
Yeah.
Never heard of this. Never heard of Lancer. But yeah, I've never even heard.
Never heard of it. Yeah, when it's in the movie, I was like, oh, that's a good name. They figured out a good name for something that sounds like what would have been a western at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There he is, Jame Stacy, when he had all his limbs. So. Fuck him. I didn't feel bad for making fun of this guy. I mean, he had one hand.
I know. What would he have done if he had both?
Yeah, it had two. Yeah. He had one hand and managed to get in trouble with that one fucking hand. God is like, I knew I should have took that other one right there. I feel sorry for your ass though. That is not. Yeah, it's. I wonder if I look up some of these other people in the movie, what I would find. I didn't have time to do it, but I was really on a roll to be like, all right, who else is in the film that I don't know about? Shit, what other movies and TV shows that I know about? I know he showed one trailer when they were in when Sharon Tate went to go watch her film. And they had a trailer playing.
Oh, right.
And I didn't. It's some 70s movie, late 60s movie.
Yeah,
like 69. I had no idea what that was. So yeah, I mean, for all the criticisms we had about the movie, these are one of the things that makes Quentin Tarantino and his knowledge of film that he has no problem throwing into his own movies. What makes those great. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, hit notifications so you know when we're coming, and also check out our main site, doubletoasted.com. Over there, you'll find the long version of this video, along with the live streams we do almost every night of the week. Check out our store, support us at dtmerch.com, and remember, if nothing else, stay toasty.